Namaste to all the students. I, JV and Dr. Ekta Rana, Assistant Professor of English in Faculty of Education and Methodology. I welcome you in the lecture of English language. Our today's topic is past perfect tense. The past perfect, also called the pluperfect. Okay, and it is a verb tense used to talk about actions that were completed before some point in the past. Example is like, we were shocked to discover that someone had graffitied Tootles was here on our front door. We were relieved that Tootles had used washable paint. I had eaten my breakfast before I went to school. The past perfect tense is for talking about something that happened before something else. Imagine waking up one morning and stepping outside to grab the newspaper. On your way back in, you notice a mysterious message scrawled across your front door. Tootles was here. When you are telling this story to your friends later, how would you describe this moment? You would say like, I turned back to the house and saw that someone named Tootles had defaced my front door. Okay. In addition to feeling indignant on your behalf, your friends will also be able to understand that Tootles graffitied the door at some point in the past. Before the moment this morning when you saw his handiwork, because you used a past perfect tense to describe the misdeed happened to you. Okay, the past perfect sentence structure would be like had plus past participle. It does not matter if the subject is singular or the plural. You have to use had with all. Okay, like, we were relieved that Tootles used washable paint. We were relieved that Tootles had used washable paint. It's a subtle difference, but the first sentence doesn't tie Tootles' act of using washable paint to any particular moment in time. Readers might, or you hearers might interpret it as, we were relieved that Tootles was in the habit of using washable paint. In the second sentence, the past perfect makes it clear that you are talking about a specific instance of using washable paint. Another time to use the past perfect is when you are expressing a condition and a result. Like, if I had woken up earlier this morning, I would have caught Tootles red-handed. The past perfect is used in the part of the sentence that explains the condition. Most often, the reason to write a verb in the past perfect tense is to show that it happened before other actions in the same sentence that are described by verbs in the simple past tense. Writing an entire paragraph with every verb in the past perfect tense is unusual. Okay. Now, when not to use the past perfect. Don't use past perfect when you are not trying to convey some sequence of events. If your friends asked what you did after you discovered the graffiti, sorry, they would be confused if you said, I had cleaned it off the door. They would likely be wondering that what happened next, because using the past perfect implies that your action of cleaning the door occurred before something else happened. But you don't say what that something else is. The something else doesn't always have to be explicitly mentioned, but context needs to make it clear. In this case, there's no context, so the past perfect does not make sense. Now, how to make negative past perfect? Okay, just insert not between had and the past participle. Like, we looked for witnesses, but the neighbors had not seen Totals in the act. If Totals had not included his own name in the message, we would have no idea who was behind it. Now, how to ask questions in this past perfect? Write had plus subject plus past participle. Like, had Tootles caused trouble in other neighborhoods before he struck ours? Okay. For infinitive, we use to ask, to work, to call, to use. And for past perfect, we use had asked, had worked, had called, had used. And for negative, it would be like had not asked, had not worked, had not called, had not used. Now, I would share with you common irregular verbs are used in past perfect tense. In infinitive, it is to be, to have, to do, to say, to get, to make, to go, to take, to see, to come. And in past perfect, it would be had been, had, had done, had said, had gotten, had made, had gone, had taken, had seen, had come. Then in negative, it is like had not been, had not had not done, had not said, had not gotten, had not made, had not taken, had not come, had not gone, had not seen, like this. The past participle of to get is gotten in American English, but in British English, the past participle is got, of get. Okay. See, I had eaten breakfast before I went to school. How do we use past perfect tense? See, the past perfect tense expresses action in the past before, yes, as I have discussed, like example here is the train left at 9 a.m. We arrived at 9:15 a.m. When we arrived, the train had left. Okay. Here the past perfect The Titanic had received many warnings before it hit the iceberg. I had already eaten when my friend stopped by to visit. Okay? Okay, thank you for watching.